So basically, guys, so what we are going to do, so we are going to perform API, different kind of operation with respect to a database called as MongoDB. So yesterday we were trying to do this kind of operation with respect to a SQL database, and I believe I have given you a homework, and I have seen that many of you are able to complete a homework. So I was literally very happy after looking at your URL that you have posted. So it was amazing, obviously, and yeah, so most of us are able to complete our homework. And I was like going through all of your link that you have posted inside your group. So in today's class, what we are going to do, so we'll try to write APIs, and that API is going to be with respect to MongoDB database. And if any one of you are facing any kind of issues, obviously we are going to solve that particular issue as well. So I think my screen is visible to all of you, right, everyone? So please say yes, no, if screen is visible. Now I'm going to create one new folder inside my system. So let's say Mongo DB API we are going to write today. Okay. Now, so first of all, what is MongoDB? So MongoDB is a database, obviously. Now, how it is different from SQL databases? So that is something that we are going to explore very soon in today's class itself. So MongoDB is called as NoSQL database. NoSQL means not only SQL kind of a database. And inside the industry, you will be able to see a different kind of a database. NoSQL databases, SQL databases, vector databases, graph based database. So there are different kind of a database you all are going to encounter, and to build any kind of a application, so obviously database is a backbone. So without that you will not be able to build any kind of a real time application. And yes, APIs, right? APIs are again a backbone, so which is going to help you out to expose anything to anyone in this entire world, so that you will be able to consume things with the help of those APIs, or maybe you will be able to do any kind of operation with respect to APIs. Now, to perform a MongoDB operation, first of all, we need a MongoDB setup, right? First of all, we need a MongoDB setup. So just do one thing, go to Google. I'm going to show you the entire step over here. So go to Google and try to search for MongoDB. Simple, MongoDB. And you will be able to find out a very first link called as mongodb.com. So click over there on mongodb.com, and then you have to create a basically account over here. So maybe you can try to click on sign in, and then after doing a sign in, so they are giving you a Google sign in option. Maybe we can try to use that one just for doing a quick sign up and sign in, and then our MongoDB database will be ready. So let me, yeah. So here is a quick sign up option. So Google, click on this Google option, and then we are going to authorize it. Okay, so it was just a quick sign up, right? And we are able to land into this kind of a interface. We don't have to do anything much over here. So once you are going to do a sign in for a very first time and you are going to land over here, you will be able to see a different kind of a option, just like me. So I'm able to see a multiple different kind of option. So this is basically a managed MongoDB services. So where MongoDB is managed each and everything for all of us, and we are just supposed to, use it. As simple as that. Now to use this database, so we have to create a instance, or you can say we have to create a cluster over here, or kind of a system, or kind of an environment. So where I will be able to store a data, and I will be able to do a different kind of a operation, and I will be able to consume all of those data, or maybe I will be able to do some sort of a insert, update, delete kind of operation with respect to this particular database. So to do that, I have to create a cluster. But before that, if you can confirm me, guys, are you able to log in inside a MongoDB? So I have already pasted a link inside your chat box. So just use that link, do a Google sign in. That's it. The way I have done. Yeah. So are we done? I'm looking for your confirmation, guys. Yes, okay. Venkatesh is asking what is cluster. Cluster is nothing but just like a computer, right? In a like a layman manner. So just like your computer. So in a computer, you do a lot of installation. So by default, this MongoDB is going to give you a system, a shared system, by the way, right? As of now, and cluster is nothing but in a actual manner. So cluster is nothing but a bunch of computer connected together. That's called as cluster, basically. So technically, it's a computer. that we are talking about. So which will be having a storage, which will be having a RAM, and which will be having a compute power. Yeah. So only three people. What about others? Okay, done, done, done. I'm just waiting for all of you to say yes. You are able to do a login. Okay, okay. Now, now click on this create cluster. So once you are going to click on this create cluster, and they are going to give you free option, and your template below have this option. I think they have changed something. Couple of week back, I have logged in inside this, and go to advanced configuration, and I'm not looking for a dedicated one, and they are not giving me a free tier option. The limit for free tier cluster in this project has been, oh, okay, in this account. So I think free tier limit has reached, so maybe I have to use a separate account. I wanted to use a free tier account, by the way. So let me check, guys. So any email ID is left with me because in every class I have to show this, operation, and every time I have to create a new, I have to use a new email ID. That's a problem. Yeah, you will be able to see a free tier, by the way. Don't worry. For my account, so it's reached. Let me check if I have some email ID available with me, because MongoDB. Because I used to take a lot of classes, right? So in every classes I used to teach, and uh, because of a limitation of having a email ID, so it's giving me an issue. Let me check. I'm just checking my like a email ID, available email ID, which I can use. Looks like all my email IDs are full. Okay, so looks like it is not allowing me to create a free one. And I think some of you will be able to see a free option, guys, over here. So you will be able to see a free option. It's not giving me a free option. Looks like I have already used all of these mail ID even before. But yeah, some of you will be able to see a free option. So anyone guys who are able to see a free option, generally it will give you a free tier. So it gives you a free tier, by the way. Yeah. Yes. 1512 MB of storage. Yeah. So it is going to give you a free tier in general. Yeah. So maybe I can go ahead with a flex tier over here, and then I can try to just select free over here. So whenever it is showing you this option M30, M10, or maybe a flex, instead of that, it should show you a free. So just go ahead with the free tier. That will be better, right? It is in that way you don't have to add your card or anything. You will be able to use it. So here I am going to give a name of the cluster. So by default it has given a name is equal to cluster is equal to 1. I can try to select a provider, so where I would like to deploy this cluster. So maybe AWS, GCP, or maybe Azure. And here, so I can try to select a region. So in a paid tier, almost all the regions will be available. So whatever region which is nearest to me, so I'm going to select that particular region. So Mumbai region is a nearest region. So this is where my entire setup will be done, right? So I'm going to select a Mumbai region, and then I don't have to do anything. So I can click on this create deployment, and eventually it is going to start creating my system. So where MongoDB will be pre-installed. So I can click on create deployment, and it is going to take 2-3 minutes of time once I'm going to add my card. So do it guys. In between, I'm adding a card inside my cluster. Okay, so just adding my card so that I will be able to create a cluster. But yeah, in a free tier, you don't have to add a card. So it's completely fine. You can go ahead with the cluster creation, and you will be able to store a data inside your database. It's taking time more than expected. Can we go with the free one? Yes, yeah, actually you should go with the free one. So it is not giving me an option because of my limit, but yeah, you should go ahead with the free one. Okay, so now it has started deploying a cluster, so it is going to take some time. Yeah. So once you are going to fill the information, once you are going to select all your instances, your reason, your provider, which is AWS, Azure, or GCP, any of these is completely fine because it's a MongoDB instances which is going to be managed and created by MongoDB itself. So we are not supposed to worry about literally anything. So once this is done, it is going to start my cluster. And here it is telling me it's a free. So it's a flex and maybe some quota limit is still available. So it is giving me a free tag over here. I'm not sure about. Okay, so this is my flex cluster. Oh, I believe I already had a cluster over here inside this account, which was a free one. And because of that, it was not giving me an option. Okay, got it. Terminate this new cluster. Okay, so you will be able to see a cluster, guys, the way I'm able to see this cluster, cluster 0, right, which is eventually a free cluster, by the way. So it is still giving me a free option. Maybe if I'm going to terminate this and if I'm going to create once again, so it is going to give me a free option. So in a free option, they are giving you only one cluster option with the limited capacity. And that limited capacity is more than enough, way more than enough, I would say, in terms of storing our data, in terms of, doing all kind of operation that we are looking for. So hope all of us are able to create a cluster or maybe in a process of creating a cluster. Yeah, everyone. Yes. Okay. So once this cluster connection is done, so just try to watch it carefully, right? So on this cluster, this is the cluster box. So on this cluster, you will be able to see an option called as connect, this option. So you have to click on this connect option. And once you are going to click on this connect option, then you will be able to find out something called as driver, compass, cell, MongoDB versus VS Code, and Atlas SQL. So you have to click on very first option, right? The very first option you have to click on, and then you can try to select your driver. So you would like to call your entire MongoDB in which programming language. So PHP, Node.js, Mongoose, Kotlin, Ruby, Rust, Scala, or maybe in any other things. So I'm going to consume or I'm going to write a code inside Python. So I'm going to select Python over here and then Python version wise. So I can try to select. So maybe I can try to select 3.1 or later or maybe 4.7 stable API in terms of like a MongoDB APIs or maybe 3.12 or later or maybe I can try to leave it as it is, right? So leave it as it is, not to do anything. And then it is going to give you an option. So it is telling you that you can try to install this Python MongoDB driver. So PyMongo you can try to install. And along with that, so you can try to use this particular link to hit your cluster. So even yesterday, when we were trying to work with a SQL database, so we had a URL, and with the help of that URL, we were able to connect. So this URL is nothing but again a connection string for all of us. So unless and until you don't have this connection string, you will not be able to connect with your particular Mongo cluster. So simple, you can try to copy it and then maybe you can try to keep it somewhere. So let me try to keep it somewhere here, right? So this is my URL. This is my URL for my cluster 0. And here, so I can see user ID and I'm able to see a password option. So what I can do, I can try to basically change this user ID and a password. So this is my user ID and this is my technically a password which is given to me. Fine. So now just try to copy this URL and maybe you can try to copy this particular part as well, which is nothing but an installation that we have to do and maybe keep it here inside one of your file, any of your file, just keep it for now. Now what we have to do, so click on done. We are done with MongoDB. Now, on your left hand side, you will be able to see again a multiple option. Yeah, a multiple option. Out of that option, inside a security tab, you will be able to see a database and a network access. So maybe I can try to go over there. And then here, so I can try to come and I can try to create a new database user if I want. So I can click on this new database user and then I can try to create a new user ID and password. Fine. So any user ID and any number of user ID and password I will be able to create. So here, right, it is asking me that user description. So add an optional description for your user, and here, so in the password authentication, so it is asking me that enter your username and enter your password. As simple as that. So here I'm going to enter my username. So for example, my username is SUDH and then I'm going to enter my password. So maybe SUDH. So simple password SUDH at the rate 123, something like that. I'm going to create. Password contain a special character which will be URL encoded. Okay, so let me do these things. SUDH 1234. So this is a password which I have created, a simple password. Don't try to keep any kind of a special case character, maybe hashtag, maybe at the rate. Don't keep it inside a password. Maybe you can try to choose something different. That's completely okay. Yeah. So this is my user ID and this is my password. And here, so what I can do, so I can try to click on add user. I can try to click on add user. So once you are going to click on add user, so obviously it is going to like by default it should have done these things. So database user privilege, add built-in rule, and I am going to select admin. So I'm just going to make this user as an admin and click on add user. So here, as you can see, I have created this user and this user is basically admin user. Admin user means it will be able to do each and everything, as simple as that. So whatever cluster which I am going to create, whatever databases I am going to create, with the help of this user ID and password, I can do anything. And I can try to create different kind of a user as well. And I can try to, give a different kind of a role. So read only role or maybe read write with the databases or a admin access. So admin access is a superior access and then read write means with respect to a database, a user will be able to perform any kind of a read write operation. And only read means only they will be able to access a database and they will be able to pull the data. They won't be able to do any kind of a write operation. Simple. So this is my user which I have created. Now what I can do, I can try to copy this user and wherever I had this URL, so just remove this with this username, right? So after MongoDB plus SRV colon slash slash, there is a username. So just try to remove your existing username and whatever user that you have created, keep it over there. Now password wise, so here you will be able to see triangle and in between db underscore password, remove this part and then whatever password that you have set, SUDH1234 for example. So this was a password which I have set, I believe. So this is a password which I am going to keep it here. Now this URL is ready to use. So I have a user ID, I have a password, and I have a cluster instance detail over here. In this way, it will be able to reach out to my system. It will be able to do a login with the help of my user ID and password, or it will be able to do authentication. And I will be able to get a complete access of my database. Making sense, guys? Why we are creating it if we already have? Yeah, so by default they are going to create one. So maybe if you forgot to create a password, so in that case it is going to give you a pain. It's better go and create one. You can try to use a previous one as well. I mean, there is no issue about it. But maybe I don't remember the previous password, so that's the reason I have created the new one. Choose a connection, a very first one. Fine, everyone. So are we able to get this entire link with user ID and password? Are we ready with this entire link? Because this is the only link which is required. Apart from that, nothing is required. Okay, fine. So I'll be keeping this link handy. So I'm keeping this one inside one of my like a text editor for now. Then again, you can try to go back to your cluster. So here, click on cluster. And then you can try to click on, there is an option called as browse collection. So here I can try to click browse collection option. And here I will be able to see my databases. I will be able to see all of my connection collection if I have any. So inside this database, I already have so many different kind of a collection, or so many different kind of a databases, and inside that I have so many like a different data as well. I'm not going to use any of these. I'm going to create, and in your case, obviously, there will be no databases. So you can try to click and you can try to create a database. So for example, I can click over here, create database option, and then I can try to give a database name. So maybe I can say that it's a Euron database, and collection name is nothing but Euron underscore COLL collection name. Collection is nothing but it's equivalent to a table, right? So database already we have created even yesterday, Neon DB, and then inside that we were trying to create a table, and we have given a table name, and from table, so we were trying to perform a insert, update, delete, all sort of operation. So here you can say that collection is equivalent to a table but not a table. So collection simply means that you will be able to even store a unstructured data. In case of a SQL table, you will be able to store a structured data, and before that you have to define a schema. In case of collection, you don't have to define a schema. Simply you can try to store a data in a key value format. So I'm going to give a collection name, as you can see. You can give any name of your choice. That's up to you. And then additional preferences. So I don't want to, use a time series collection or clustered index collection, which MongoDB is offering you as a service. Simple select option, and then I can click on create, and it is going to eventually create my database, and inside that it is going to create a collection. As you can see, it has created a Euron database, and then inside that it has created a collection. If I'm going to click on collection, I will not be able to see anything. Means it's empty on your right hand side, basically this particular space, and this particular space is empty for me. But here I have a DB, and then I have a collection. DB means simple database, and inside that collection means do a comparison with respect to a table that we have already used yesterday in yesterday's class. Okay, so is it done, guys, for all of us? Yeah. So are we able to create a database and inside that collection? Venkatesh is saying no. Everyone is saying yes. Okay, take your time, do it. Okay, fine. So now my MongoDB is ready. Now I have to keep my Python program ready. And on top of that, so I have to create a API. So see, I can write a Python program to process a data and ingest a data directly inside a MongoDB. And for that, I have a URL. But I don't want to do that. I would like to expose all of these operations, whether it's a insert operation, update operation, delete operation, all such kind of operation. I would like to expose as an API so that people can come to like my APIs. I'm going to share a API with a person, those who are building some sort of application for me, and they will be able to just utilize an API, and with the help of API they will be able to hit my database. So I don't have to give access of a database to any one of them. Anyone means literally any one of them. I will simply say that whenever you have to do some sort of a insert operation, use this API. Whenever you have to do some sort of a update operation, use this API. Whenever you have to browse my collection, use this particular API. This is the meaning of API, right? So in that case, I don't have to share my URL, or I don't have to share even a credential of my MongoDB, and they will be able to just use my API, and they can do all the operation with respect to my database. And on top of that, if they have to build some sort of application, they will be able to build it. And this is how backend, front end, or backend team is going to work. So backend team is going to create an API, and anyone who is like going to do some sort of operation with respect to those databases, they will be able to just use a API. They are not supposed to aware about where my database is, what is the database configuration, what I have done with the database. They are not supposed to bother about anything. Anything means literally anything. Yeah. So that's the beauty of using a API. Okay, fine. So till this part, we are able to do a setup for a MongoDB. We are able to create a database. We are able to create a collection inside a database. Now what is next? Yeah. Now what is next? So open up your VS Code. Simple. Over here, create a new file. So just try to create main.py file. Simple. Or maybe you can try to create some other file with some other file name as well. Extension should be .py because it's a Pythonic file that we are trying to create. Apart from that, your name can be anything. I believe we all understand that particular part. I have already shown you. Yesterday we were using test file, by the way, test.py file, and accordingly my run command is going to change. My uvcon command is going to change. Yes, everyone? Yeah. So I believe we all are sorted on that part. File name can be anything. Okay. Now, now let's start doing some sort of a setup. So we have to do certain installation inside my system. So from wherever I'm going to execute my Python code, and if I'm going to deploy this entire application on some cloud platform, so again over there we will have to do such kind of a setup. As simple as that. So here, what we can do, so in general, we try to create a requirement.txt file, but I can try to do a installation directly even inside my console. That's completely okay. That is going to be completely fine. So, but here let's try to approach in a project manner. So we have a Python file over here, and what I will do, I'll try to create one file called as requirements requirements.txt. So this is a file which we are going to create. And instead of doing an installation one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, what we can try to do? So we can try to do an installation in one go. Yeah, we can try to do an installation in one go. Means let's suppose we have to do 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever number of installation. We can try to do an installation in one single go itself. And this is where requirement.txt is going to come into a picture. And very soon you will be very much used to it, because every time we are going to use it, right? Every time we are going to use it, and every time we are going to create a requirement.txt file, and inside the requirement.txt file, we are going to save all the requirements. And those who are coming from a Python background, I believe you all are aware about it. Yeah. So here, fast API is my requirement. UVCon is my requirement. There is a driver called as motor driver. I will be talking about it. There is something called as Python dot environment. So this is nothing but kind of a library which is going to help me out in terms of reading out some sort of a variable from the environment. I'll be talking about that as well. So here inside my requirement.txt, I'm trying to keep all of these things. Maybe I can try to keep even this one. So PyMongo SRV. So let's try to keep all of these things inside one single file, which is a requirement.txt file. So that in one single go, I will be able to do a installation. So I have just pinged you requirement.txt content, by the way. So maybe you can try to copy it from there. Okay. Is it done, guys? Everyone? Yes? Okay. Fine. Now, so let's do one thing. So once we have a requirement.txt file, and ideally, so whenever we try to work in any project, any Pythonic project, not just this one, so we try to create a separate environment. Yeah, that is something called as virtual environment. Because, and again, environments is nothing but we are creating a folder, and inside that folder, we are going to keep all those required libraries for a particular project. For example, for this project, Fast API, UVCorn, Motor, or maybe Python.dev or PyMongo, all of these libraries are important. All of these libraries are technically required. So if I have to do an installation, so maybe I can try to do an installation here. So this is going to my base environment, right? The terminal that you are able to see. So this will be eventually a base environment. If I don't want to do an installation into a base environment, so I can try to create a new environment. So how I can create a new environment, let me tell you that particular part as well. So first of all, maybe you can try to go and try to check what is a Python version that you have as of now in a base environment. My bad. So Python version, Python version. So in my base environment, I have Python 3.12.3. That's completely okay. In some of your environment, maybe it could be a 3.11, maybe 3.13. Some Python version will be available. Yeah. So I just need a Python, any Python version over here for now. Now what I can do, I can try to create a environment, a virtual environment for me. How I can do that? So I can try to call like a Python and then M and then here. So I can try to give VENV. So virtual environment, my env. So this is a environment which I'm going to create. And once I'm going to hit this command, my env, all of you will be able to see that in my current directory, whatever directory which I am using, it has created a folder called as my env. Like I said, so environment is nothing but it's just a folder. right? It's just a folder. So where it is going to keep all the libraries, all the Pythonic libraries. So this is a command you can try to give. Instead of I have given my environment as a name, you can try to give your name, you can try to give my name. That's completely okay. So Python mv environment is a command, and then this is my environment name, and with this name it has created a environment over here. Inside that there are a couple of folder it has created automatically. This is what it does, and inside that it is going to keep some of the library that we want. So this is how it is going to create a simple Python environment. Now I have to activate this Python environment. So how I can activate it? Again, steps are very, very simple. First of all, go to this folder. Inside that, go to script. Inside that, you will be able to see activate option. So simple. Here, my folder name is my-env. Inside that, I have something called a script, S capital SCRIPTS scripts, and then slash I have basically activate. Yeah. So this is a command I'm going to execute. Technically, I'm not executing any command. I'm just going through a folder. I'm just going through a directory, and I'm going to click on this activate so that my environment will be activated. And here you must be able to see that name has changed. I'm into my environment, right? I'm into my environment. Now, in this environment, whatever I'm going to install, whatever means literally whatever I'm going to install, it will be installed inside only this directory, this directory. And if after selecting, if I'm going to execute any Python file over here, so it will be looking for all the dependencies, whether it's a fast API or anything, inside this directory. So this is where this library and this include comes into a picture. Yeah. So it is going to download and it is going to keep everything over here. As simple as that. And likewise, I can create hundreds and thousands of environment. And it's a standard practice that whenever you are going to start a project, any new project, you should always create a new environment. It's a standard practice so that in one single environment, you will not end up overloading a GB and GB of a file. Because again, when we say pip install something, it downloads actually a Python file, right? And it is going to keep it inside some of the directory. If I'm not going to create a virtual environment in my base environment itself, it will keep on loading. It will keep on, downloading all of those files. And my environment is going to be bulkier. And majority of time, you will be able to see a version conflict as well. So just to avoid those version conflict, just to make my single environment bulkier, what we do, so we try to create a separate environment, because again, same thing, you are going to do it even at the time of deployment, right? So it's not like there are like a 10,000 plus libraries inside a Python, not just 10,000, I would say millions, right? Millions of libraries. Maybe you can go and check the numbers on pip. So there are millions of libraries which is available across a world. So it's not like I should end up installing each and everything. I should install only that much which is required for that particular project. So this is the only thing which is required for my this project. So I'm going to install only this much. If I'm going to deploy this entire things, so it is going to take a space only for these many libraries, only for these many files. Otherwise, if I'm going to keep maybe hundreds of libraries, it is going to take a space even in my deployment environment. And that's the reason I told you it's a standard practice that we always try to follow. So here my environment is activated. I'm able to see my environment name over here. Now I can try to do a installation. So I'm keeping all of my file installable things inside a requirements.txt. requirements requirements.txt. So how I will be able to execute this requirement.txt, or how I will be able to install all of this library in one go? So I can simply try to come and over here and write a command pip install -r. So -r, right? Generally we do pip install and then file name, but here, so we are trying to do installation from a requirement.txt. That is the reason. So pip install -r requirements.txt, hit enter, and automatically it will install each and everything, whatever I have mentioned over here, inside my current environment, the existing one, right? So this is how you can try to do a installation in a bulk, and going forward, you all will be doing it. Yeah, going forward, you all will be doing it. So which Python version? Maybe you can come over here and you can try to check what is the Python version this environment has taken. So basically same version which is available in my base. Yes. So Venkatesh is getting some unauthorized access. So if you are using office laptop, so maybe you don't have permission to do some sort of installation. That could be the reason. So maybe you can go ahead with the base environment if your base environment is having a permission. Yeah. Okay. So here, right? So here, basically, I'm able to create an environment, and after creating an environment, I'm able to activate the environment. So again, for any of these steps, you don't have to remember anything. To create an environment, so simple, Python, and then -m virtual environment, and then environment name. As simple as that, you have to call. The way I have called it over here. To activate the environment, so like I told you, environment means folder creation. So folder, then again go to script, and then inside that there is a activate. So simple my environment slash script slash activate, and your environment will be activated. You will be able to see a name. Simply means that your environment is activated. Even after shutting down your system, if you will come over here inside this folder, again you will have to do the same thing. Activate the environment. So my environment script is capital, and then again inside that activate. Simple, right? And in that way you will be able to activate the environment. If you have to do any kind of installation from a requirement.txt, you can simply call pip install -r requirement.txt. If I have to do a direct installation, I can do that as well. Simple, I can write pip install and then library name. I will end up installing it. So for example, fast API, right? So I will end up installing it. So it is telling me that requirement already satisfied. I have already installed it with the help of like a requirement.txt. So it is telling me that everything is available over here. But yeah, you can do an individual installation, or you can try to do a bulk installation as well. Requirement.txt is for a bulk installation, and even in a production system, you will have to use requirement.txt. Are we good, guys? Are we okay? Are we able to create a new environment and we are able to do all the installation? And this is going to be the standard practice, guys, for all of us today onwards. So whenever we are going to start a new project, for example, next week I'm going to create, I will start creating a project for basically vector databases, because I have to teach you a vector database, so many different vector database. So I'm going to do it very, very quick. So be ready. And this is something that we are going to do hundreds of times in this class itself. And even in your real life, you will end up doing it. Okay. Now, so this is going to be a normal practice for all of us. Now, so we have a main.py file. MongoDB is ready to all of us. And now we are able to create even an environment. Let's start writing a code now. So here, what I will do, so I'll start writing a code. So first of all, I'll have to do a import, couple of import. So from basically fast API. So import fast API, and then import maybe HTTP exception. Then from pydentic import base model that we have already used. From motor dot motor. I'll tell you why we are using motor async IO. I'll be talking about that. From basically BSON import object ID and import maybe OS. So these are the import that we have to do. I'll tell you why I'm doing what kind of an import, and what is the use of like a what import, how you can try to avoid it, or maybe how you can try to use it. I'll be talking about that very soon. Yeah, very soon I'll be talking about it. Fine. So these are the import that we have to do inside our Python file, py file that we have created. One more thing. So let's suppose I'm working on some project, and inside that project, obviously some APIs are required, some key is required, maybe API key is required, which is nothing but a secret. Some user ID password I'm going to store, right? Some user ID and password I'm going to store. Some other parameter or maybe some secret things I'm going to store. So as a standard practice, right? As a standard practice, so we try to store all of those things into in general. Again, there are like a multiple ways to store it. So in general, as you are starting, so you can try to create a file with .env right? So .env environment file, you can try to create it, and inside that you can try to keep any kind of a secret. Again, this is going to be our common practice. So .env environment file, yeah. And whenever we are going to push this entire code inside some of the repository, we are not going to push this particular file. So I'll be talking about going forward git ignore. So how whenever you are going to push a file, so you can ignore some of the files, means it is not going to push those files. But yeah, so .env file you have to create, and inside that maybe you can try to create a variable called as Mongo URI, right? Mongo URI variable, and then as a string you can try to store your MongoDB URL. So this is the URL where I have a user ID and password. So As of now, I'm doing all of these things inside my local machine. So inside that, I'll be keeping everything maybe inside dot environment. But when I will try to deploy this same thing, when I will try to push my code inside a GitHub repository or anywhere else, I'm not going to push my like a user ID and password, because if anyone will be having your user ID and password, which is open, they will be able to access your entire cluster. As simple as that. I mean, like your entire security will be gone. So keeping that in our mind, so we try whenever we are doing a local development, so we are going to keep it inside .env, and when we are going to push a code, we will try to mention .env in such a way that it should not push this .env. And on that platform, wherever we are deploying, we will try to do this setup. Yeah, we'll try to do this setup so that, in a secret way, so that, this will not be shared with anyone, means literally anyone. Only a person who has deployed, or only a person who is going to be an admin, only they will be able to see my user ID, password, or even a complete URL. Yeah, that is something that you have to do. So as of now, I'm just going to keep it inside dot environment. I can directly use this URL even inside my code. I believe yesterday we have used it. Yes, everyone? Yeah. So yesterday we have used our URL directly inside our code. Agree? Yeah. Yes. I mean, like that is not a standard way. You should not use your URL, because inside your URL you are having your key and you are having your user ID. Now that's not a standard approach. So yesterday was fine because that was a day zero, right? I mean, like not day zero. I mean, like that is something that we have done for the very first time. Maybe for most of us, right? We have done that for the very first time. But ideally, you should not do it. Yeah. So ideally, you should keep your, this secrets or this user ID and password kind of a things inside your .env file. Again, there are multiple approaches. As we will try to unfold things, we will try to understand those part. Yeah. So that my secret should be treated as a secret. Now close it. Keep all those things inside dot environment and keep it. Now here, what we are going to do, so we are supposed to read, right? So we are supposed to read first of all, basically the environment things or the URL that we have, because at the end of the day, if I don't have a URL, I will not be able to perform any operation, right? Any operation. Now to do that, maybe I can try to import from dot environment. So from .env, load.env. Now this is going to help me out in terms of loading a environment file automatically. This is a function, this is a library which is already available. So load.env. So this is going to help me out in terms of loading a environment. Simple, right? Environment file. And now from environment file, so I have a key and a value pair, right? So key wise, I have this variable name, and then value wise, I have basically this one. So maybe I can try to read it. So load environment means load a .env file from my local. Now, once it will be able to load it, so maybe I can try to call operating system, the import that I have done, and then get basically env. So this is a function, and get env means what? So from an environment file, what is the variable name? Mongo URI. So by default, it will be able to read that Mongo URI. As simple as that. So again, I'm going to store it here in a local Mongo URI. So now it will be able to read that from like a dot environment file, and I will be able to see it over here. As simple as that. So now just do this. I have already given you a code inside your chat box. Yep. Okay. Done, everyone? Yes. Okay. So once this one is done, yeah, once this particular part is done, once we are able to create this environment and once we are able to load this environment, then what we are supposed to do. So what is like a next, by the way. So let me talk about that particular part. So here, what you have to do, so once we are able to load a URI, the way we have done it yesterday. So we have a URI and then we are going to hit that particular URI. We are going to establish a connection, and once connection will be established, so I will start doing a different kind of a operation, right? Simple. Same thing you are supposed to do even over here. So this is going to do nothing. It is going to load my URL, MongoDB URL, which is going to help me out in terms of establishing a communication. To establish a communication, so you have to call async IO motor. I will be talking about why I'm saying async IO and what is the significance of this async IO. There is a other way as well by which I can do it. But yeah, so I'm using async IO so that I will be able to make my API even more robust at production grade. So here I'm going to call Mongo URI, this variable, this particular variable inside this async IO so that it will be able to call, it will be able to establish a communication. And I'm going to store it as a client. Yesterday we have done the same thing. We have created a client. Client is nothing but from my like a VS Code or from my Python program. So I'm trying to hit my MongoDB, right? So I'm trying to establish a client basically. So here this is my client. Once I'm able to create a client, then client will be able to access a database and client will be able to access a collection inside a database. So if I'll talk about my MongoDB structure, so inside my MongoDB I have a database Euron. Inside that I have a collection Euron underscore COLL collection, right? So here what I can do, so I can try to call a client. So the client that we have created, client will be able to access our database. So what is my database name? So my database name is Euron. Just try to give that same database name, EURON, Euron, and then just try to store it. So this is going to create a DB connection, and then I can try to access a database over here, and database is going to help me out in terms of accessing basically a collection. So what is my collection name? Euron underscore colon. This is my collection name. So inside DB, I have a collection. Collection means table. As of now, you guys can think of. Technically, it's not table, but yeah, you can think of in that way. So first of all, URL is helping me out to establish the connection. Now I'm able to reach out to this cluster. Inside a cluster, I have a database. So if I'm able to reach out to the cluster, same client is going to help me out with respect to my database. Inside database, there is a collection. So simple, inside database, there is a collection, and maybe I can try to, I would like to store some sort of Euron related data. So Euron underscore data, maybe something like that. I can try to create as a variable name. So this is going to help me out to reach out to which one? Collection eventually. Now, if I have to do any kind of operation with respect to a collection, what is the variable? I'm going to use 13 number line variable Euron data, because this is helping me out to reaching out to the collection. Let me correct the name EURON. I mean, like it's just a variable name. You can give anything EURON underscore data. You can try to give your name, your collection, whatever you want. You can just do it. Yeah. So with the help of this, I will be able to reach out to the Euron collection. Okay. Now inside a collection, I have to store a data, but I would like to like expose that particular part as an API, right? As an API. So maybe I have to insert a data, I have to update a data, I have to like fetch a data. So first of all, let's try to talk about the insertion of the data. So right, where we are going to send a data with the help of API, we would like to send a data over there. So what I can do, I can try to create an API. And as we all know that to create an API, just create a app variable, fast API, right? App object I have created. And as we are talking about a data insertion, so anyone who can tell me what kind of a request we are talking about, a get request, a post request, a put request, a delete request, update request, which one? Yeah, post request. I think we all will agree. Yes, we all will agree. Okay. Now, to create a post request, what is important in case of fast API? I think you all will be able to give me an answer. Can I say a identity class is required? Yeah. And what is the use of identity class, by the way? I believe you all will be able to give an answer once again. So that whatever data we are sending, first of all, it will validate before calling the actual function, right? Before executing the actual function under the hood, under that API. So data validation. Okay, fine. I think we all are aware about it and I can see the answer, and I can assume that we all have attended all of those class and we all have done a practical things as well, right? Okay. This is what happens when you do a homework, by the way, on your own. So keep on doing it. So here, let's try to create a identity class so that I will be able to do a data validation where I'm going to define what kind of a data I would like to insert. Okay, fine. So class, let's suppose class Euron data. This is something I'm going to create. And inside that, I'm going to inherit basically a base model, which is going to make my class pydentic, as simple as that. And inside that, so let's suppose Euron data wise, I'm going to provide maybe name and maybe like a age, let's say, right? Name, age kind of a things I'm going to provide. So integer, fine. Maybe city, anything. So Euron age is not a proper thing. So maybe phone number, city, and then maybe like a course, COURSE as of now, course, fine. So these are the data which, anyone is going to provide. So whenever they are going to call my API, a post API, right? Which I will be using it to insert our data. Okay, that's cool. So this is a pydentic class I am able to create, right? Now let's try to create a function which is going to insert this data, yeah, which is going to insert this particular data inside this Euron collection. So here what I will do, so I'll try to create a function def Euron, Euron, Euron underscore data insert. Let's see. Yeah, data insert helper. So this is something which I'm going to create. Euron insert data helper. And let me remove this one. This is just auto-generated code. Fine. So this is basically a function I have created, let's suppose. And here my data will come. Yeah, here my data is going to come. So data is going to come from where? So let's suppose my data is going to come, Euron data is going to come from this Euron data class. So maybe I can try to make it pydentic compatible. So here, now it became pydentic compatible. So data will be having name, phone, city, and courses as per the class which I have already defined over here. Okay, that's cool. Once again, now, so I'm going to read this data, yeah, and I'm going to do data dot dictionary so that it will be available into a dictionary format, which was giving me issue even yesterday. Let me remove that. Maybe I can use a data directly over here. So here, what we can do, so we can try to basically, I have to do an insertion, right? I have to do an insertion. So insertion wise, I can try to call this collection object, because this is going to help me out in terms of doing an insertion. So collection object, this one, dot, right? Dot. Inside MongoDB, by default, insert one function is available. Insert many function is also available. So let's suppose if I would like to insert one single record, right? If I would like to insert one single record, I can try to call insert one. Insert one with what? This one. This is my connection, right? So client, and then client is able to access database, database is able to access my collection. So this dot, I can try to call insert one, and then I can try to pass a data. Simple, pydentic data, this data which is coming from this particular class after validation. So this is something that I'm going to pass, and eventually it is going to insert a data. That's it. This is the only single line of a code after establishing a connection by which I will be able to insert a data inside MongoDB. Only one line, only one function, I would say, and pass a data. Even if you're going to pass directly a JSON or dictionary kind of a data, it will insert automatically. It will try to insert it. So here it is going to insert, and then maybe like I will be able to get something called as result. Let's suppose I'm going to capture it inside a result variable. And then maybe I would like to like return something, right? So whoever is trying to hit my API, so I would like to return a message, maybe, right? Possible. I would like to like return a message saying that okay, so this is basically a data which has been inserted inside a MongoDB. This is a message I would like to showcase. If I don't want to showcase a message, I can leave this part. That's okay, right? Because here itself, it will be data will be inserted, right? I can even remove this particular part. That's completely fine. If I don't want to capture the return type, I mean like the result which this function is going to give it to me, because this function will insert and then it's done. Simple. So here, but I would like to showcase some sort of a messages to my user, a user who is going to use my API. So what I will do, I'll try to write a return, and maybe I can try to write a beautiful message over here. Data inserted successfully. Yeah, I can try to write even a formatted message where I can try to, call a ID, and then I can try to showcase the particular ID. That is also possible, right? So maybe instead of writing this particular message, I can try to return maybe this one. So result dot inserted ID. So by default, it is going to return you the ID. So whenever MongoDB try to insert some record, it try to create an ID, a unique ID. with the like a variable called as underscore ID. So inserted ID, it is going to give it to you. Okay. So maybe that is something which I can try to, return as a result, right? Maybe I would like to return a message. Maybe I can club both. I can return both. So this is my function, which is going to insert a data. Let me expose that as an API. So what I can do at the rate app post, and then I can maybe try to call it Euron underscore Euron slash insert insert. Yeah. So maybe at this URL, I'm going to expose this as an API. Again, very, very simple. So now this function will become an API, and anyone who is going to hit this route, they will be able to insert a data and they will be able to check. They will be able to basically test it. Is it making sense to all of us, guys? Yes. Easy, right? I mean, like, we are not doing anything. I mean, like, everywhere, whenever we would like to create an API, eventually we will end up doing the same thing, right? Establish a connection. If it is a post, create a identity class and then insert the record. Done. Yeah, done. So now let me ping you this entire piece of the code. Please make sure that you have a URL inside your environment. You can hard code it. If you don't want to keep URL inside the environment, remove this line and hard code your URL. It will work. Yeah, it will work. Okay. So control S, and then let's try to test it. Let's try to test this particular API. So let's see whether it is going to work or not for me. So inside this environment, so how I'm going to test it? UVcorn, UVcorn, UVcorn. And what is my file name? Main file name. What is my app name? So app. So app and then hyphen reload so that I don't have to refresh again and again. Otherwise, I can remove reload part as well. Now hit enter. And here it is giving me some sort of a error. Let's go ahead and check this error. So process spawn process one, that's completely okay. Come down and no module name motor dot motoro. I think there is a spelling mistake or something. Yeah, so it's motor dot motor async IO. So it is not able to find out this file. I'm like this one. So because of that, it was giving me an issue. Okay. So saved. Okay, so this time it has not given me any kind of issue. There was a spelling mistake over here. So maybe you can go and you can rectify it. It should be motor, not Motoro. I think I have written Motoro over there. Okay. So my API is live. API is live at this URL. Let's go and let's try to check it. Yeah. So maybe I can try to, open up any browser, and then inside that browser, I can try to check it. So localhost. Yeah. And my port number is what? Port number is 8000. So localhost 8000 slash, if I would if I'm looking for a Swagger UI, so I can see, I can say simply DOCS, right? And here Euron slash insert. So this is available, right? This is available to me. And I believe this is what we have created, right? So this is what we have created over here. So at Euron slash insert, we have created this function. So yes, I'm able to see this particular URL. Fine. Now click over here. And now let's try to click on try it out. Yeah, try it out. So once I'm going to click on try it out, so maybe it is asking for some sort of a name. So maybe I can give Sudhanshu, phone number. So maybe I can give some numbers over here. City. So maybe city wise, I can try to give BLR, and then maybe course wise. So course wise, I can try to give a Gen AI, let's suppose. Yeah. So this is the information which I have filled inside my Swagger UI, and then click on execute. And then maybe we can try to check it. So what is the issue that it is giving me? So it is telling me it's a 500 internal server error. I believe we have received such kind of error so many times, even yesterday. So fine, let's go and fix it. So let's see what is the issue. So here inside a console, I will be able to see the issue. So here it is telling me that runtime error, I mean like compile time was fine. There is no current event loop in a thread, any IO worker thread. That is the problem. Now I'll tell you why we are getting this problem and how we can try to fix this problem. So here, before this function, I can write one keyword async, async. Save it. Yeah, save it. Now it has started my API once again. Yeah, it has started my API once again. And then I can try to, go over there and try to execute it. And again, it has given me some internal server error, which is not good. Now this time error has changed. So document must be an instance of dictionary, bson, json, this, or type of inheritance from the collection. So my error has changed. So maybe here data dot, I can write dict, dict, although it is going to cut it, but yeah, data dot dict looks like this is the issue in terms of data format. Again, I can go and I can try to check it. So let's go and execute once again. This time again internal server error. So let's go and check what is the error this time. Async IO feature this, sorry, what was the thing? Okay, async IO object has no attribute inserted ID. Okay, the return which I'm trying to give, so it is not able to find out this inserted ID. Result dot inserted ID, it is not able to find out. Okay, so maybe this function is not there. I can check inside a MongoDB itself. They keep on changing a function. So let me check whether this function is available or not somewhere. So ID is available. ID will be available. Maybe they have changed the function. So I'll change the function accordingly as per my current installation. Oh, I have to write even over here, await, otherwise it will go to the future. And then I have to basically write the other small things, by the way. So I can try to write inserted ID. Control S. Let me test it once again. Execute. Now, done. I'm able to insert the record and I'm able to get a response body 200, and I'm able to get a inserted ID. Like I said, so it creates a automatic like a random ID for all kind of insertion that you do. So yeah, I'm able to insert. I can go and I can cross verify. Yeah. So if I'm able to insert a record, so obviously I must be able to see a record inside my MongoDB, right? I must be able to see a record. So as of now, if I'll come over here, I can click on this refresh button and it is going to refresh it. And yeah, so I am able to see a record, as you can see, right? So this object ID twice it has inserted. So name is equal to Sudhanshu, then phone number, BLR, Gen AI core. So this is the record. This is what I have inserted, right? And this is what I'm able to see it over here. As simple as that. Yeah. So successfully, I'm able to test my API. And now if I'm going to give my API to anyone, they will be able to insert a record. They will be able to insert a data inside my MongoDB database. So here, a couple of changes I have done. So in this function, not couple of changes, I would say I've just attached async over here and I have attached await over here. Any idea, guys, what is the meaning of async await? Any idea? Anyone who is aware about it? What is the meaning of async await, by the way? Yeah. Asynchronous call. Maybe you must have heard about this in a JavaScript or Java or somewhere else as well. Yeah. Okay. Anyone? So where async and await is been used in general? So basically, I'll tell you, those who are not aware about it. So let me tell you this part, async await. So async await works hand to hand, means all together it is going to work. So if some function is asynchronous function, so in that case, I'm supposed to use a await. Now, in a layman way, what is the meaning of this one, right? So basically, async function means a non-blocking function. Means if this function is trying to execute itself, it will not block some other processes, because maybe it is waiting in a queue, or maybe it is waiting for a database to store the data and give a response back, right? So this function is become a asynchronous function, means this function will become a non-blocking function by the way, right? It is going to be non-blocking function by the way. So here, what is our actual meaning of a non-blocking function? Yeah, what is the actual meaning of a non-blocking function? So actual meaning of this non-blocking function is that it will try to submit this function, let's suppose, in a like a general way, right? So it is going to submit this function. Now, what this function is going to do? This function is going to perform the insertion operation. That's the nature of this function, right? It is going to perform the insertion operation. Now, if it is trying to do this insertion operation and thousands of other people are trying to do the same thing, basically the API which I have created, it's a high traffic API, let's suppose. Many people are trying to request, many people are trying to insert a same thing, right? So in that manner, right, in that manner, if my function is basically a asynchronous function, it will try to submit a request and then it will leave a path for others. So let's suppose you are going on a road, right? You are going on a road, and whenever there will be an ambulance, so whenever you hear about the siren of ambulance, what you do? So although you are on those road, that particular road, although you are using it, right? But you try to give a path for an ambulance. In the similar manner, you can think about it that this function is going to be a non-blocking one, which you are on a road, but you are not blocking ambulance by the way, right? So whenever you need a resources, means whenever you need a space on road, you are taking your space, right? You are taking your like a part of the road, but you are not blocking others technically, right? You are not blocking others. So this is how it is going to work. And whenever we are going to call a function, so we try to attach it as a await, means this function is going to await for this one, wait for this one, you can say, right? So whenever we are going to create a high traffic API or a real time system, so in general we are going to make it in this particular manner. Yeah, in general we are going to make it in a this particular manner. And this is where this motor comes into a picture. Motor is nothing but it's a driver. Yeah. So motor is nothing but it's a driver. This is a driver which has been created by MongoDB itself. It's an official driver, right? So basically it's a official async driver that they have created. So whenever you're trying to create a high traffic API, always you have to use a motor. Otherwise, you can try to use PyMongo. So even inside my requirement.txt, I have kept PyMongo, right? So even this is going to behave as a driver. This is eventually technically a driver, but motor is a better one. It's a superior one for async IO kind of operation or async await kind of operation. Whenever you are creating like this kind of a system, API kind of a things, you should always use this one. That's the meaning of it. Yes. Anubhav is saying, Pranam sir, just join this course. Okay, so you have to go through all the previous lecture, Anubhav, if you are not aware about it. Yeah, so just try to go cover it up and then come to the class anytime you want. Okay, so this is where this async and await I have used, and yeah, uh, that has fixed my problem, and because I was using it, right, I was using in that way, and I'm able to insert a record inside my MongoDB. So insertion is done, right? This insertion part is done. So maybe I can try to create an API for other things as well, right? Couple of more API I can try to create. So let's suppose if I have to create an API so that by hitting my API, anyone can see my data, right? Anyone, whatever data is available, so they will be able to, pull all the data which is available inside my database. Okay, fine. So here, so I can try to create a function def get underscore Euron underscore data. Let's suppose this is the function I have created, and just to get a data. So here I'm going to create basically one variable called as like items list, by the way, right? And then here, so I'm going to say that okay, so just go find all the data. So Euron data, and I'm calling find function. Yeah, find function in this particular manner. So you're on data, this one, which is the connection one, right? Because this is going to be the starting point. I'm finding something inside my DB. So you're on data. So Euron data dot find, I'm just giving like a curly braces, open and close. So I'm looking for everything. I can try to find it even based on the other parameter, based on the name, or maybe based on the courses, based on the city, based on phone. I can try to find it on any parameter, but I have given curly braces means just find all. Yeah. So no condition basically. So once it will be able to find a data, it will be able to load a data. So what we are going to do then? So we are going to run through a for loop, and then we are going to append all of those data into my item list. Yeah. So I'm going to append all of my data into item list, and then finally I'm going to return my items, so that anyone who would like see all the data, they will be able to see this data. Let's make this function a non-blocking function. To do that, I can try to attach a sync over here. Yeah. So this is going to be the non-blocking function. And let's make this even like a for loop as a non-blocking entity. So whenever it needs, or whenever a resource will be available, then only it will run itself. Otherwise, it will wait. So let's make it async. 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 Yeah. So I'm making my for loop even as a async, and I'm trying to make even my function as a async, a non-blocking function. Again, it's an optional for you. You can make it, you can leave it, but yeah, it's a standard approach which I'm trying to show you. Now app.get Euron get data. This is a route which I have created. So anyone who will go to this particular route, they will be able to get the data. So this is basically a get. It's not a post, it's basically a get. Control S. Now go to my Swagger UI, and here I'm able to see Euron get data, right? This is the function which I'm able to see. So maybe I can try to click on try this out, and I can click on execute. Yeah. So I'm not passing any parameter. It is giving me internal server error. Okay, cool. I'll try to fix it. So let's see what is the error. Object ID object is not iterable, type versus argument value type, this JSON encoded. Okay, so there is an issue. It is showing me in a loop, it seems. Dictionary not iterable. Ideally, it should be iterable. This is how it like returns the data. So here dictionary object ID is not iterable. Where's this dictionary? This one, most recent call. Await. Okay, fine. So return await. Hmm. 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 Okay. Item append find. I'm fetching a data, holding it in a cursor, going through this data one by one, and then I'm holding it inside this one. So find function, maybe I can try to call find all, let's say. Okay, so item dot append, I'm appending a document directly, and inside that document there is a issue with object ID. An object is not iterable. Okay, fine. So this is the issue it is giving me. Hmm. So document fine, Euron helper. I can write maybe one helper function. So def Euron helper, and which is going to take some data, let's say, and it is going to take this doc ID, delete, and then return doc and call it inside Euron helper. Okay, so there is a issue in this one. So whenever I'm trying to fetch all the data, the problem is that it is trying to return me this object ID as well, right? This particular ID as well, it is trying to return. And when I'm trying to loop through it, so it is not able to parse this object ID, and that was the issue which I'm able to get inside my console. So what I'm doing, I'm just like I have written one function, so which will try to remove this ID. Only it will give me name, phone, city, and a course. That was the issue which I have like a seen. So that is the reason. So I have written one helper function, and I'm trying to pass all the data over here. Means one by one data I'm trying to pass over here. What it is doing, so it is trying to like extract this ID, and then it is trying to delete that ID and return rest of the document, because that was the error which I have received. And let me check whether I'm able to fix that issue or not. So maybe I can like execute, and I can click on try this out, execute. And yeah, bingo, that was the issue. So I'm able to get this data, and yeah, so ID was underscore ID. So that was the actual issue. So what we have done, so we have basically deleted that underscore ID, and we're just keeping this ID over here, only ID, because underscore was an issue for like for loop iterations. So here name, phone number, city, course, and ID I'm able to get. Again name, phone number, city, and this one I'm able to get it. And yes, this was a data which was available to me. Again simple, right? Again pretty much simple. So whatever data which was available to me, so I'm able to fetch those data. So I'm able to insert the record, I'm able to even fetch a record. So both of these things are working fine for me, and for both of this I'm able to create the API, and that too kind of a production grade API. I'm using a sync await over here. So let me ping you this part. So this is the code, guys, to all of for all of you. Yeah, this is the code. Okay, so this looks cool so far to me. Now what we can do, so we can we have created two APIs, right? Today we have created two API. So maybe you guys can create rest of the API, which I'm going to give you as an homework. But before that, so let's try to do a deployment. So as of now, it's working in my local system, right? It is working in my local system. I don't want to keep it inside my local system. I would like to like host it on some cloud platform. So where like I can expose the API, and any one of you will be able to consume it. So far, we were able to do it even with the help of ngrok, right? Ngrok was helping me out, and that was cool. That was good, and we were able to expose something as an API. But today, I don't want to do the same. I would like to like host it as a real API, right? And on some literally cloud platform, so where anyone can process, anyone can execute it. So shall we do it, guys? Now, yeah, shall we do it? Shall we host this API? Shall we make it as a production ready API to interact with my database? Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So to do that, we need couple of things. So first of all, we have to push our entire code. So as of now, code is available in my local system, in my local machine, code is available. So from my local system, I have to push a code into a repo, So let's suppose I'm going to store it into a GitHub repo. Fine. And then from there, I can connect to maybe some of the cloud platform out there. So there are multiple ways by which I can host it. So without even pushing my code into a GitHub repo, I will be able to host it. That's also possible. Yeah. So I'm not saying that every time you have to push into a GitHub and then you have to do it. But yeah, so in general, we try to go through a CI/CD. So continuous integration, continuous development. So by the time we will try to, make some changes, it should auto deploy. So even in this mode, if we have to go, so in that case, obviously, you have to follow this entire process, and you have to use maybe a GitLab, maybe a GitHub, any kind of a Git repo, right? There are so many provider. GitHub is one of the popular one. So here I'm going to use one of the free cloud platform called as Render. So Render is a free cloud platform, so I'm going to use it. So from local, I'm going to push a code into GitHub, and then from GitHub, so I'm going to host it on a render.com. So let's see how we can do it one by one, one by one. So I need a GitHub account. Yeah. So I need a GitHub account. Unless and until I don't have a GitHub account, so I will not be able to push a particular piece of a code. So I have my GitHub account with me, and those who is not having a GitHub account, so please go and create one immediately. Anyone who is not having a GitHub account? Anyone? Because I'm assuming that all of us must be having a GitHub account if we are like into a generative AI class, if we are like going to work as a techie. So anyone who is not having GitHub account, I mean, like there is no shame in that. It will just take like 2 minutes of time and you can create it. Simple. So do we have GitHub account, guys? All of us? Yes. Okay, fine. So if we have a GitHub account, it will be very, very quick. So go to GitHub account, go to your profile, and then click on repository, this repository tab, and then maybe try to create a new repository. So here you will be able to see an option, click on new. And then here, so you can try to basically give your like a repository name of your choice. So I'm going to give a repository name, maybe like a Euron, Mongo API. Yeah, Mongo API. So this is something that I have given. You can give a name of your choice. I can make it public. I can make it even private. That's completely okay. It's completely up to me. So I can click on create repository. Once I'm going to click on create repository, so it is going to give me these commands. Yeah. So these commands are going to help me out in terms of pushing my code into a GitHub repository. As simple as that. But let's suppose in your entire life so far you have not pushed your code even for once, right? Even for once inside a GitHub repository. Then you have to install first of all Git. So you can go to this one, go to Google, and you have to like call Git download. Whether you are using Windows, Mac, or Linux, for everything Git is available. So for Windows, Mac, Linux, as you can see, so you have to download first of all, and you have to install in your local system. So Git is nothing but a version control, open source library, right? Open source library. On top of that, so GitHub is a company, GitLab is a company, right? Bitbucket is a company. So they have created their own product with the help based on this open source software, right? This Git is basically open source. So based on this Git, which was actually designed for a version control, right? Code management in a layman way, you can say. So for a code management, so they have created the entire product, and that eventually we know as a GitHub or GitLab or maybe a Bitbucket. So these are the platforms. But core philosophy is again same. So it's a Git that we have to use. So first of all, Git must be installed inside your environment, inside your system. It's a very small file. You can quickly download it. As you can see, it's a 63 MB of file. So just download, click, install, done. Yeah, that's it. This is the only thing that you have to do. If you are using Mac, you can go with the Mac. If you are using Linux, you can go with the Linux. For all three versions, Git is available already. Then only these commands are going to work. Then only you will be able to push your code inside your GitHub repository. As simple as that. Otherwise, you will not be able to push your code inside a GitHub repository. Is it making sense to all of us? Yes? Yes, everyone inside a chat box, please. Yeah? Okay, fine, cool. Now, one more thing you have to do. So see, whenever you will try to push your code, so as your code base is having .environment file, inside that environment file you have a secrets, right? You have some secrets. So your GitHub is going to reject it. By default, GitHub is going to check all of your file. So if there is some like a password or some environment related things are available, so it is not going to allow you. So here in my local itself, we try to create one file. So just click on this new file and try to create a file dot, start with dot. It should always start with dot. And I can say git, so git, git, ignore, git ignore. I think meaning is very simple, right? So we try to create a git ignore file, simple, right? Ignore, git ignore file we try to create. And then inside this, we try to mention all the things which I don't want to push, all those things which I don't want my GitHub to take. For example, even this environment that I have created, right? So even this environment that I have created, again, I don't have to push that environment because wherever I'm going to install, wherever I'm going to do a setup, I have my requirement.txt file. So eventually it is going to install each and everything right over there. So if I'm going to push my environment file, and let's suppose I have a bomb of like, a library which I have installed, it will be like a very big file, by the way, right? So for example, this py cache, so which so system has created. So again, I don't want to push this one. My environment folder, I don't want to push this one. So dot environment file, I don't want to push this one. So there is something called as git ignore file I can try to create, and inside that, whatever file I'm going to mention, whatever, right? Whatever file I would like to mention, I can try to mention it, and it is not going to push those files. As simple as that. For example, this py cache, right? So I can simply mention, it's very simple, right? I can write py cache, whatever name which I am able to see it, I can write it down. So it is not going to push this py cache. As simple as that. Okay. Then I don't want to push my environment, the environment folder which I have created, right? So fine, that's cool. I don't want to push my dot environment. So these are something which I don't want to push to my GitHub repository. So it is going to stop it. It is going to stop it in my local itself. In my local, it will be available, but it will not go to my repository. So this is where this git ignore file comes into a picture. So create this git ignore file. And again, this is something which is pretty much normal that you will do every time. Yeah, that you will do every time. So close everything. Yeah, close everything. And then step by step, so you can start executing this command. So first one is a git initialization. Again, git init is not going to work if git is not available. So let me terminate this one. Let me clear my screen, CLS. Yeah. So git init, git init. So if git is available, if you have installed git, then only it will be able to recognize. Otherwise, it will tell you that, okay, I don't know what is a git, by the way. I'm not able to understand what is git. So first of all, git init, and just command by command you have to follow. So git add, fine, git add. So maybe I can write git add over here, ADD, and I can say dot, not readme. So git add dot means add everything. Yeah. So git add. So it will try to add all the file, whatever is available in my buffer space, in my local system itself. So it is going to add each and everything. Yeah. So it has added. Fine. Now, once it has added, basically, then what we can do, we can try to call commit, and we can try to send a message, like whatever message that we want. So simple, get co-mit hyphen m is message, and then I can send a message. This is my Euron API, right? So fine. So it will try to, like, send something, and that too with this particular message it will try to send. So I'm just trying to do a code commit over here. So okay, it has committed everything. Now, so git branch main, simple, same command, right? Git branch main. So in a main branch, I would like to push. I can push it into other branch as well. This is my remote origin URL, fine. And then push. That's it. And then my code will be available. So now it has started sending my, like code to my branch, and everything is successful. Simply means that it has pushed my code. I can go over here. I can try to refresh it. So once I'm going to refresh it, oh, it has my environment file as well, which it was not supposed to bring. Maybe I have made some mistake in my git ignore. Git ignore is fine. Yeah, my environment I have mentioned. Maybe it is not able to understand. Okay, that's okay. It is not going to harm me in any manner. Okay, because I have already mentioned that inside a git ignore. Okay, we'll check in a later stage. So anyhow, I was looking for my code. So I was looking for my main.py file. So my main.py file is available over here. And I was looking for my requirement.txt. So requirement.txt is also available over here. Now what I can do? So I can start with the deployment. So as I told you that we have to follow a steps, right? We have to follow a steps. So a very first step, you have to push our code from local to GitHub. So from our local to GitHub, we have to push our code. This is done. This is ticked. Now from GitHub, we can try to connect any of the cloud platform, and then we can try to push it. So cloud platform wise, there are hundreds of cloud platform, not 100,000, I would say. And there are like hundreds of way to do a deployment of a particular product or system, right? Maybe I will be using a render. Render is like one of the best platform for anyone who is just starting with it, starting with the like a deployment. So from here, I can try to push a code inside a cloud platform, inside a render. Render, again, no need to pay anything. You can directly go and create an account, and then you can try to do a deployment. So here what I will do, I'll try to log in into a render, render, render.com. So just go there and go to render.com. And then if you don't have an account, create an account quickly. It is going to ask you some questions. Just tick all those questions. Within 2 minutes, you will be able to create the account. I'll just ping you the link. Yeah. So create account, guys, and then tell me. Okay, done. Prakhar is saying done. Okay. What about other? Okay, Praveen is done. I'm just waiting, guys. So those who's not having an account, so please go to a render and try to create the account. So like, for example, I'm going to render. I have just clicked on Google and I'm inside a render. Simple. It's very easy once again. So click and then log in and then use a Google account to log in. Now, once you will be able to log in, right? Once you will be able to log in, so just follow my cursor. Here you will be able to see a plus button, new, or maybe here, right? So click on this new, and there are so many options they have given you for a deployment: static website, web service, private service, background worker, cron job, blueprint also, right? The other different kind of option. We will go ahead with the web service option. So just click on new, click on web service. And once you are able to see this web service for the very first time, they are giving you basically an option to attach your GitHub. So just try to click and authorize. So I have already authorized it, authorized my GitHub. So from here, render, select your GitHub. They are giving you all the options, right? All the Git provider they are going to give you, as you can see. So they are giving you like a Bitbucket option as well. They are giving you GitLab option as well. But I have already connected with my GitHub. So if you are pushing your code to GitHub, connect with GitHub. If you are pushing your code to Bitbucket, which is again another version of another like a vendor, another company, so who is giving you the same kind of services, so use that Bitbucket. Or else if you would like to use a GitLab, you can use GitLab. Anything is fine. But yeah, so as we have already used a GitHub, so click and then connect with your GitHub. It is going to just ask for the authorization for the very first time. From next time, it will be attached. Yeah. So click connect. And then let me know in a chat. Everyone. Done? Everyone? So Praveen is saying done. Dhruv is saying done. Okay, Divyang is saying done. It's very easy. Just click. It is going to pop up a window. Authorize. Simple. Is it possible to push your code from local to render? No. They have given you three options. If you would like to use something like this, then you have to go with the machine. For example, EC2 kind of instances. So there you can try to push directly inside a machine itself. No need to like use a GitHub or anything. But I'll tell you advantages. I'll tell you advantage of this one. So fine. So once you are going to attach your GitHub, then you will be able to see a list of all the repos. As you can see, so this is my repo which I have created 4 minutes ago, right? Euron Mongo API repo. So it is going to show you all the repo. If it is not showing you, just refresh. It is going to show you the repo. So just select this repository. In whatever repository you have a code, just select it, right? And see how easy it is, right? Select a repository in which you are keeping a code. So in this repository, I'm keeping a code. By default, it is going to show me that repository. Name, by default, it has given to you. If you would like to change this name, you can change this name, right? This is going to be your application name. Then language, Python, it will be able to detect automatically. If there is some other language, it will be able to detect that as well. But by default, you have a Python, so it is able to detect it. Branch main, so in a main branch, as you can see, my file is available. So it is showing my branch over here. And then root directory, leave it as it is because my main itself is a root as of now. This is the root, right? And then build command. So what is a build command? Means what is a command by which you will be able to keep your system ready. So it is requirement.txt. So pip install requirement.txt, as simple as that. Same thing that we have executed in my local, right? Inside my requirement.txt, I have already defined all the required dependencies. So it is, render is also providing you machine. So in that machine, it will try to install it. The way we have prepared our project in our local, in the similar manner, render will try to prepare it. And then start command. So what is my start command, by the way? So my start command is basically uvcorn, uvcorn main, uvcorn main colon app, right? And then host wise, here you have to give something extra. So host wise, always try to use 0.0.0.0. So whatever is the host of this machine, render machine, right? So just try to use that particular host, and maybe port wise, port wise. So I can try to say that parameterize it. So parameterize port. So port that I'm going to mention. So you have to use this as a execution command. Uvcorn, you are giving like a address basically, because in my local, so it was localhost by default 127.0.0.1. So here I'm saying 0.0.0.0 means IP of local machine, this machine, render machine basically, right? Now, so port wise, so I'm going to set up this port with the help of environment variable. Now, select free hobby project. Click on this free, select this particular part. And then, right? So, and then what you have to do? So, and then you have to basically set your environment variable. So here in a below section, if you will come, so they are giving you an option to set your environment variable. So what are the environment variable I can try to set? Yeah, so I can try to add my .environment file, as you can see over here, or I can try to click name of the environment variable, which my like a code is going to use. So what was my environment variable, by the way? And again, if you will go and check, this .env file is not available. So system is not aware about the URL, right? I have to make it secure. So here, copy this. This is my URL, or just go to your .env file, right? This is my variable name, Mongo URI, same like a variable. So just try to keep it here. Variable, Mongo URI, right? And then value. So what is the value? Value is this, without quotes. So value is this. So I'm just going to keep environment variable. So as you can see, it has like created that as a password, right? Add another environment variable. So let's suppose if I have given a variable here as a port, this is a dollar means variable, right? So port, I can configure that part as well. I can configure as many things as I want. Maybe I can say port is going to be 8000, let's suppose, right? 8001 or something like that. So I can try to set an environment variable inside a render itself, as many as I want. If I'm using 10, 20, 30 credential, right? Maybe like some like a 30, 40, 50 services, which we do use in a real-time environment, right? I can set all of these things over here. In this way, it will be secured. There is nothing which is available on in my GitHub. GitHub, anyhow, this is not going to allow you to, put your environment or put your secure data, right? But here inside this cloud platform, I'm able to set it. Yeah, simple. And system will be able to take it from here. Now, once everything is done, so you don't have to do much. Simple this one, and then environment variable set, right? Click on deploy. And if it is going to give an issue, we'll check and we'll try to resolve it. If it is not going to give an issue, I'll get this URL. This is my URL. And this is my HTTPS URL. I can share with all of you, and you all will be able to do a insertion into my MongoDB, and you will be able to even see your data. So just wait for some time. So are we able to do it, guys? Anyone who is doing it, this step? Yeah. So as you can see a message that it is trying to pull a code from GitHub, right? And it is now trying to do a Python installation. Next step. Everything you will be able to see it in a log. If it is going to fail, it will give you a message. It will show you the error. You can debug those log and then you can try to, make it working. Okay, so collection. Okay, fine. So now it is trying to install a requirement.txt. See the log and everything you will be able to see it. So installing a package. So whatever I have mentioned inside my requirement.txt, it is installing each and everything here. Just like my local machine, everything is visible even over here. Uploading a build. Okay, fine. Okay, so build successful. So I will be waiting for a deployment now. Let's see. So whether it is able to deploy it or not. Okay, now it's deploying. So now deploying message came. Okay. So now running UV Core main app in progress. And yeah, so 404 not found. That's completely okay. Application startup complete in progress. And you must be able to see this button called as live. Yeah. This is now live. Live means now I have my API publicly available to all of us. So I can just try to copy it and maybe I can try to test it. So here I'll just copy and then paste it. Method not found. Cool. Slash docs. So I will be able to see my Swagger UI. And this is my deployed application. HTTPS Euron Mongo API render.com. You all can use it and now it will be here. It will be available over here for an infinite time, and it's not dependent on my system. Even if I'm going to close my system, that's completely okay because now everything is in a production. Anyone can come over here, use my API. Anyone can use even a curl. Anyone can even use a postman, right? Anyone can use a Java programming language. Anyone can use now .NET programming language or JavaScript. They will be able to call my API and they will be able to use it, right? They will be able to insert the data. So just try to do a insertion operation, guys, and maybe try to like fetch a data. Let me fetch a data. Let me see like whether it's working or not. So yes, I'm able to fetch a data. Are you able to fetch a data by using my API, guys? Okay, Kisley has also pinged me his link. Fine, cool, Kisley. Slash docs. Easy way to test. No, Kisley, at docs there is nothing which is available. Maybe it has failed. Maybe you can check. So are you able to use my API, the API link which I have pinged it to you? Yeah, so I have created two APIs, one for insert, one for get data. Yeah, and it's working, right? It's working. Insert my data, insert a data, and I can refresh it over here. Maybe insert your data, guys. Insert your information, and I can see it over here. Yeah, many people have inserted it. I can see those data. Murli has inserted some data. It can I can see test DCAI. Someone has inserted this data. I can see that. Yeah. So you are able to use my API. Now you can use the same API. API means simple. This is the URL. This is my URL, right? This is my URL. And if someone has to use Euron insert, right? If let's suppose if I have to use this API inside my Postman, yeah, inside a Postman, if I have to use it, how I can use it? Simple. Go to Postman, right? And if I have to use it, allow. Let's suppose I'm going to use get one. So this is my URL, and then after that, what I have to write? So get one, right? So Euron get slash data. This get slash Euron get data. This is my HTTPS. Yeah. So maybe through Postman, let's hit it. Euron get data, send. See, I'm able to get all the data. So many people now, so many people have inserted the record. So ABC, Sid has inserted this record. Beerbird has recorded. Mace has recorded. Dhruv has inserted the record. Test has. Murli has inserted the record. I can see all the records, right? I'm able to test it through a Postman. I mean, like it's a API. Simple. It's a API. It's a live API. It's a global API now. I can try to even put a restriction. I can try to even attach a password over here. Means authentication. Means a token. Just like a URI API, right? In a URI API, you need a key. Otherwise, you will not be able to access it. So I can even attach a password over here. So along with this, you need authorization. There is authorization. So you have to pass the authorization, then only you can access it. So far, this API is completely open. So we are able to technically make our API global for two things. One, you can insert a data, and another one, you can fetch a data. So you can use this entire URL and then maybe hit it from anywhere of your choice and then like get a data. Yeah. So see, even like in a browser, get data. So all of this data is available in my database. I can keep on refreshing it and I'll keep on getting like a fresh data, whatever like is inserted. Amazing, right? Everyone? In a real time, this is how things happens. Okay. Now, so beauty of using this render and GitHub combination is very simple. So by default, it has created a CI/CD kind of a pipeline. Yeah, by default. For example, let's suppose if I'm going to make some sort of a changes in my code. For example, if I'm going to create one more function, so I'm going to keep copy the same function. I'll just change the function name. So instead of get Euron data, so what I will do, I'll just try to create another function, maybe like show Euron underscore data. Fine, show Euron underscore data. And then here I'm going to change a route, show data. Fine. So I've changed the function name, I have changed the route. Control S. Okay, Control S. Now this new function which I have created, this is not available. So if you are going to go through this path, Euron show data, you will not be able to hit it because it's not deployed. It's available in my local system as of now, right? It's available in my local system as of now. What I will do, I'll simply try to call the last command, git push origin main. Yeah. So this is, first of all, like I have to do git commit. So let's suppose I'm doing like or maybe git add before that. So git add and add what? So main.py file added, then git commit commit and added one more function show data. Fine, commit. Okay, hyphen m, right? So git commit hyphen m message wise. Sorry, again, my bad. I have not written m. Okay. Now, so now I can try to do git push origin main. So git push origin main. Now I have pushed this particular code, a new code, the changes which I have done, right? One new function I have added and I have pushed it. Now, if I'll go and check my GitHub repository, so like after refreshing it, I will be able to find that piece of a code here. So, okay. So you're on data. This function is available. This route is available. Yes, everyone agree? This function, this route is available. Yeah. I'm looking for some response in a group, guys, in a chat. So I'm able to push my new development, whatever new code which I have developed, or even if I'm going to create a new file. So I have pushed all of those new file over here, right? Okay. Now, what this render will do? So automatically it will keep on checking, right? Automatically you can keep on, it will keep on checking my GitHub repository. If there is some code changes, right? If there is some code changes, it is going to deploy it. It is going to make it available automatically in some time. I don't have to go and deploy once again. Yeah, I don't have to go and deploy once again. So it is going to make it deployed automatically. This is the beauty of render and GitHub combination. It's called as continuous integration, continuous development, CI CD. Is it making sense? Yeah. So write a code, test it locally, push it. Again, write a code, test it locally, push it. So, and let's suppose there are so many teams who is look so many people who is working on it, right? They will write their code, merge inside a Git, right? Call a merge, again push it live. So whoever is creating an API, it will be live, or whatever product that we are going to like push it, it will be live. Going forward, even UI interface and everything. So it is going to be live, basically. That's a beauty. So let me check whether it's available or not for now. As of now, it has not deployed. Okay, so it will take some time. Maybe you guys are like hitting it and it's a free source. I can do a forced deployment as well. So I can go to my, that is also possible, force deployment. So let's suppose this is my environment. So there is an option they have given you, manual deployment, and you can try to click on deploy the latest, and you can deploy even from the latest. Means forcefully you can deploy. Otherwise, unless as soon as like it is going to see some bandwidth, it is going to deploy it. That option is also available. If someone using AWS or other cloud platform, it will be same. Depends which service you are using, because even in AWS there are services so where it will try to pull these things. There are some services where we have to configure it. We have to build the CI/CD pipeline, right? For example, I'm using just EC2. I mean, like we have to check in the code, and then we have to write the script that we have to write some shell script over there. If I'm using a Unix, Ubuntu machine or Linux based machine, that okay, whenever you see a new changes or new push, run the deployment once again. There is something called as blue green kind of a deployment as well. Yeah. So as you there are so many ways. It's not like a only one way to do a deployment. There's so many ways. This is one of the way which I'm showing you, which makes your life literally very, very easy, right? Write a code, test it in a local, push it, and then code is going to work. And now see, I have not done the deployment, right, guys? This time, have I done a deployment? Have I clicked anywhere? I've just waited, right? I was just talking to all of you. Can I say my source data is available now? API? Yeah, that's a beauty. This is what I was talking about, right? Write a code, commit, push, fine. If it is working in local, it will work even in cloud, right? So now even source data is available. So third API is available. I can like, click over here, try it out and then execute it. I can try to use it. So yeah, it is able to bring a data, right? So that's a whole story, guys. Hope all of you have liked this class. All of you have enjoyed this class. Maybe you can try to use this URL. Yeah. To test it. Same URL I have pinged you. Deploy those who are not able to follow, because I know there are some people so who will not be able to follow. Maybe you can go through a recording once in your free time. Just follow the steps, do it, and then let me know if you are facing any kind of issues. So I'm going to like solve your issues in a next class, not in this class, because I know in this class many of you are facing an issue. So you have to rewatch this some of the steps basically. Will be able to access the chat content from the recording? No. In recording, only recording will be. A chat means like that is available only in live class. So anyhow, what is the content which you need? I'm going to push a code anyhow. This code will be available. The entire folder will be available. And in a lecture, I have already talked about a GitHub and render. You don't need a link for that, right? So code will be available inside your, even now I can copy and paste this code. I have already pasted, but let me paste it once again. So this is half of the code. Or okay, let me do one thing. I can give you my GitHub repository itself. Okay, take this GitHub repository. Code is also already I have pinged, right? Already I have posted everything inside my GitHub. So take this GitHub. Maybe you can just do clone, git clone, and code will be available inside your location. So take this one. Simple. If you have to load it inside your environment, simple. Do git clone and then this URL, this git URL. So it is going to load all this like same directory. It is going to load inside your like folder as well. Otherwise, you can just go over here, download as a zip. So code is available, I believe, to all of you. Can we have a doubt clearing session sometime during a weekdays? No, that is not possible because in weekdays my slots are not available. So only weekend. For weekdays, so anyhow, we have a group, right? Everyone is available inside your group and everyone is like willing to help each other. That's the reason we have created a group over there, right? That was the whole purpose. That was the whole idea. So that, whenever you get some sort of a doubt, even at 4 o'clock, go ahead with the group and then ask the question. That's the reason. So we have a Yuri chat, yeah, in mobile, in WhatsApp, as well as over here, so that you can go and you can try to clarify a doubt from that one. So we have a human option, we have a AI, both the options available. And then we have a class option. Tip: if you have fast API file folder, then use dot instead of a slash to run using a UVCon. Dot instead of slash. I think I have used that. Okay, can we change the name of the URL in render once it's selected? So see, by default, render is going to give you a URL, right? So first is going to be your app name and then on render.com. If you would like to host it on your own URL, they are giving you that option as well. But yes, that option is available in a paid version. So where you are going to do a DNS mapping. So you can take your own URL and then map this was with your own URLs. That option is available, but not with the free plan. That is available with the paid plan. It's called as DNS mapping, by the way. Can you show port value 8000? I have given. Same as local. Could not open requirement txt file, error number, no such file directory. Yeah, so just create a requirement.txt file. It simply means that it's not available, Akash. We will be able to access chat content. Okay, I think I have already given the answer. Okay, fine, guys. So I know most of you are going to Requirements. Check the spelling. It should be ES. Spelling should be correct because this error says that file may be available, but maybe you have missed some sort of a spelling over there. Can we also host on a GitHub page? No, GitHub page is not going to give you a compute. It is just like giving you a portfolio website, a static website kind of option. So not possible. It requires your API requires a compute. Whenever someone is going to hit it, it needs a virtual core as well as it needs a RAM to process it because we are installing like a libraries, right? So library to execute those libraries, I need a compute power. Over there, they are giving you compute power, but it's a very lightweighted. They're not allowing you to do some sort of a additional dependency installation via requirement.txt or any such things. Okay, fine, everyone. So I'm done with today's class. So just go through it, revise it, right? By tonight, so recording will be available. Code is anyhow available now to all of you. Discuss this among each other if you are facing an issue and come up with a solution. Those who are able to do it, yeah, those who are able to do it. So I want you to go through a homework and then send me a render link this time. No ngrok link. I'm not looking for any kind of a local deployment. Ngrok is just a local, which you are exposing it as a global, right? So what I want to do is that try to create an API for basically updating a record and for deleting a record and a partial update. So this is going to be your homework, guys. What is homework? Partial update, full update, and delete operation. I want you to do that, deploy it, and send me a render URL inside your group. This is what my requirement is with respect to MongoDB. Clear? Homework is clear to all of us. I want a render deployed link. I want your API to be global, not sitting inside your local machine, not inside your laptop. Yeah? Okay, I will be waiting for that. Full update, partial update, and then delete operation. Three operation with respect to MongoDB. So insert and get, we have like insert and get the data we have already done. Three things you have to write. Deploy it in render and share me a render URL, a working one. Test it, share it with me so that I can see everything inside your docs. Slash docs, I can see everything, right? And if I have to consume a API via any programming language, maybe by JavaScript, I can do it. maybe curl, I can do it. Maybe by postman, I can do it. Yeah. So that is something I want. So hope all of you have enjoyed. All of you have learned something new, something valuable, by the way. New is fine, but yeah, valuable is more important. Okay, fine everyone. So with that, thank you so much. Next week, I'm going to start with the vector database. Vector database is a database again where we are going to store the data, but the nature of data is going to be different. And vector database is again something which you will be using throughout your career. As long as you will be a part of generative AI industry, you can't avoid vector database. Very simple, right? You can't even build an application, a real-time application. See, database is a backbone, whether it's a SQL, whether it's a NoSQL, whether it's a vector DB, right? It's a backbone. Unless and until you don't have uh, those understanding, a deep understanding, a practical one, you can't work on any real system. Divyang is saying, thank you so much for good learning today. Yeah, post it on our LinkedIn or somewhere, maybe if you want. Not maybe by taking my name or without that. Yeah. You can build your own connection. Maybe share some random URL with someone, your render URL. Yeah, do whatever you want. Okay, so with that, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Next this week, I'm not taking doubts. I mean, like, do it. I just want you to do it. Next week I'll take a doubt. Once you'll go through it. Yeah, because I know everyone will say set my render, set my this, set my that. I can set it, but I just want you to try. I can set it within 2 minutes of time, but yeah, in that way you will not learn. So unless and until you're not struggling a little bit and you're not debugging, you're not solving your issues by yourself. Can we use toml file in place of requirement.txt if you are doing a UV? If you are using a package manager as a UV, then by default it creates toml file, right? So you can use toml. Okay, fine, everyone. Take care. Bye. Like, and see you again next Saturday. I think agenda is fixed. Next Saturday, Vector DB, I'm going to start. With that, thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Have a great day and night ahead.